Hey everybody, Vince August here. It is Wednesday, July 15th, and today I want to talk to you about social media platforms and the egos that come with them. Now listen, social media has changed our world forever. We interact with people we would normally never be able to interact with. We interact with other people way more than we normally would, and it's changed the way we communicate. And listen, the major platforms, well, forget about this one. This one never went anywhere. Facebook basically took over for MySpace without the same amount of hooking up. LinkedIn is that business one that you forget that you're on and then check in every time someone congratulates you on a work anniversary. And then, of course, there is Twitter. Twitter is the barroom brawl of all the social media platforms. And as of late, we have Parler, which is like the Christian mingle Republican version of Twitter. I want to talk about Twitter. Twitter is like that scene in an old West saloon where people are having a brawl and there's chairs flying around it. Because what it is it's basically an invitation for everybody that hates each other, everyone that argues with each other, to meet in the same place and have it out. You're not going to have a civilized conversation on Twitter. That's what we know it is. You go up there, you look at the dodo thing, and you find cute animals, you get some news, and you get the hell out of there. Okay, you want to get out of there as quickly as possible. Well, some people just don't want to do that, and their egos get away with them. Now listen, one of these people happens to be Chrissy Teigen. She has been trolling the Trumps for the last 3 years, 3.5 years, along with millions of other people. It's the way it is. People just troll each other on these media platforms. But you have to understand, when you troll people, you're going to get trolled back the second you slip up. And boy, was there a slip up with Chrissy. Now, she finally had a nervous breakdown and meltdown over the amount of trolling she's getting. She now all of a sudden fears for herself and her family because she's getting attacked for her tweets. Yes, that is a safety concern, if you can believe it, even when you live in a gated building and and God knows where in Beverly Hills with security. Yeah, she's fearing for her family. So what do you do when you fear for your family? What do you do to protect your kids? You start deleting tweets. That's right, because that's what she started doing. She started deleting tweets en masse. 60,000 tweets. She deleted 60,000 tweets. Think about the amount of time you have to spend to delete 60,000 tweets. And you're saying, Finn, why would someone delete 60,000 tweets? Well, some of these tweets are pretty incriminating. See, she is being attached to or tied to Jeffrey Epstein and, some child trafficking or child porn or questions about, using kids in a sexual way. And if you're saying, well, is there any proof? I don't know if there's any proof. But let's use Chrissy's Twitter. Seeing little girls do the splits half naked is just ... I want to put myself in jail. Hashtag toddlers and tiara. Okay, so she's watching the show and apparently this is somehow turning her on. That's creepy. Okay, look, here's another one. I just saw a baby that looked like a porn star, like a trashy, do anything porn star. Is that wrong to think? Yeah, it is. Now listen. I'm not saying this is incriminating evidence. What I'm saying is, though, when you start deleting 60,000 of these types of tweets, someone's going to have questions. And you can't say you're now in fear of your life because people are questioning tweets like that. This is normal. So you went from troller to trolley. And listen, you can't start deleting things and people not say, well, hold on a second. Why are you deleting things? I mean, we know that that's happened before. Don't we know that that's happened before? Yes. You can't start deleting things and find things missing and say, oh my God, what are you talking about? There's nothing wrong there. Nothing to see. Yes, there is something to see there. Okay. So that's enough about Chrissy Teigen. Let's go on to another incredible egomaniac. Governor Cuomo. The guy who had that incredible PowerPoint presentation for days on end where he would say such profound things like today is Saturday, or when he would do that thing where he would show you how many days we are into the coronavirus. So yesterday would be like 112, and then the next day would be like 113, and that would go up every day. And then when the George Floyd thing happened, and then he would show you that we were that many days into the protest and the rioting, and he would tell you how both numbers are still going up, and they're both independent things, but they kind of overlap. Imagine that, things in society, like events overlapping. This is the type of mind-numbing, incredible PowerPoint presentation that led people to believe this guy should be in charge of the country as an emperor, not even a president. They should give him, because it was that kind of intelligent stuff that he was putting out there. Well, Governor Cuomo has decided it is time to take a victory lap. That's right, because he's made a poster in tribute to himself and his staff about the change in New York State coronavirus and COVID situation, how we have now flattened the mountain, okay? He's taken a victory lap. He has the most amount of deaths in his state by a multiplier of 2 to the next closest guy. That's right. New Jersey has 15,000 deaths. Multiply it by 2 and Cuomo still beats him. In fact, you would have to add New Jersey and the next 2 states, and you would still fall short of what Cuomo has in deaths in his state. But none of that is his fault. All of that is Donald Trump's fault and the way he was told to handle the situation, because the virus did not come from China. The virus came from Europe. We were looking for China and it came from Europe. And I was just following Trump. These are the facts. This is the type of stuff he's been spewing. Now, regardless of how you got to the situation you are, regardless of whose fault it is, this mountain represents the amount of sick people that were in hospitals, the amount of people that died, including one of my family members. You don't take a victory lap on something like this. That would be like Rudy Giuliani after 9/11 putting up a poster of One World Trade Center and saying, look, we put out the fires, we swept it clean, everything is gone, everybody. You don't do that. What type of egomaniac does it take right now to go on a Twitter rant every day attacking Trump, saying, I did it better than you did, when you have more deaths in your state than anybody else times 2 at least? And that's only the second closest state. Every other state, a multiplier of 3 or 4. And you're going to go on Jimmy Fallon and do a victory lap? Listen, I understand social media out there plays to people's egos, but you know what? It's people like this that should be trolled on social media. People like this that think they are above reproach and want to attack everyone else around them. And listen, I'm not a fan of the president and his tweets, but you know what? Don't fall in line to what he does. Be better. Remember, we're going to take the high ground when they go low.